Cast me to the mortal realms. It's time for the Mad Merlins review of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer, Encounters 4 by Hachette Partworks and Warhammer. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer review. Today we're going to be taking a special look at the Cities of Sigmar Assassin pack that came with our latest delivery. So this is a exclusive for subscribers. I believe it's only exclusive actually for those in the UK, as American subscribers and have not yet received any such sign. And I think we had our first pack way back in issue 18, or at least we had the letter in back around issue 18. But anyway, yeah, this is our fourth and final pack. So we've now had one for each of the Grand Alliances. And yeah, this is probably the most let down of the lot. Out of all the characters they could have done, they chose somebody from the heyday of fantasy. So yeah, it's a bit of a letdown, but still it's a nice character that I've never painted, so I'm going to enjoy painting it at least. So yeah, before we dive into the issue, don't forget to, of course, do all the usual, which is like the video, subscribe to the channel, and check all my links in the video description, including the Patreon, where you get a chance to access videos early. I'm possibly going to be doing a lot more of my D&D early access on Patreon, whereas most of my Stormbringer stuff will be going up straight to YouTube, just because we're nearing the end of the collection. And yeah, we've only got less than 20 issues now. This latest delivery came with 59, 60, 61 and 62, so we're into the last run of the magazine. Concerning Combat Patrol, I'm not too interested unless they change the lineup of the magazine, because as I've said in previous videos, it's 9 combat patrols in total. Apparently every 20 issues you get one complete one, so that's just, kind of a funny way. I guess we're not going to be getting many complete combat patrols in quick succession, because some of them, like the Space Marine one, would easily be done in 5 issues. Because you only have the Infernus Marines, the Captain, the Librarian, and the Terminators. You probably could push the Terminators to 2 issues if you snapped off the small frame. They did that with the Outriders, so I wouldn't put it past them. But yeah, some of these combat patrols don't have a high model count, so most of them as well are ones I don't really want to collect. World Eaters, Chaos Space Marines I already have. Ladies of Votan not interested in. Eldar possibly. Cadian not so much. Yeah, there's not a lot in the collection that I'd actually want. Maybe some of the additional units we're getting. So the Chaplain on Bike I'd like to get, because that'd be nice to pick up as a cheap issue compared to the normal price. Parasite Mortrex I'd like to get for the Tyranids. But yeah, a lot of the combat patrols aren't ones I'm majorly interested in. Like I said, Eldar, Genius Occults maybe. I do kind of miss the Genius Occults. I love their aesthetic. But yeah, not a lot I'm interested in. So I'm not too sure if I'm going to be collecting that. Maybe the first few issues just to see what it's like. But definitely don't see myself doing the full run. But yeah, enough of that rambling. Let's dive into this issue. So first off, I have opened it already. I was kind of eager to see how they painted this guy up, and it was, yeah, much to what I thought. Some of the colours they've changed, they are different to what I thought, but all in all, it's quite nice. So let's take a look at the actual issue and the model. So yeah, move that out of the way. First thing you'll notice is a big old square base in the corner. So yeah, this is one of the last few models released for Fantasy. Came out when the Dark Elves got their army update. Now he resides in the Cities of Sigmar range as a Dark Elf assassin who has pledged his allegiance to Sigmar. Because during the end times, the Dark Elves kind of joined up with the good guys. Yeah, it was a confusing time. Yeah, really nice model. A lot of people call this guy Elf Batman because he is literally doing a Batman pose, leaping and striking with his blades there. I know Batman don't use blades, but yeah, doing a very Batman-like ninja pose. So pretty cool. Very few components. Very difficult pose to actually reach and paint all the detail. We do have a tab here that needs to be cut off in order to glue this down to the base. Not going to be the strongest contact point to the base. Personally, I'd probably glue it down to here, then glue the base down, which it would only just fit, and then fill up the outside with some texture paint. But yeah, we're going to enjoy building and painting him just for a little bit of fun, I think. So yeah, he does have a 25mm base, as he is just an elf. So I would have preferred perhaps a 28, just to make him stand out a little more. So, bringing in the issue, I'll just have to adjust the camera so we can take a quick flick through. So here we have our special issue. I believe this is going to be our last one, unless they want to give us something special at the end. But yeah, so we have all about our Cities of Sigmar Assassin, so shadow agents of death who work within the armies of the Cities of Sigmar. They move through darkness to breach fortifications, evade bodyguards, and strike the targets down dead. Elves who take up the profession see the taking of life as a high art. They are selected for their peerless physical skill and are trained in using magic to conceal themselves. Assassins can stop a battle before it has begun by killing the enemy officers and generals. However, should it come to open war, they are just as efficient on a battlefield. Assassins can defend the Cities of Sigmar from enemies within, and they have no qualms about rooting out corruption, taking down targets who march under the same banner as them. So, yeah, nice bit of artwork here from the actual Dark Elf Codex. We've got some Dark Elf Dread Spears, the assassin leaping out of them, attacking a High Elf general there. So yeah, this is definitely an old fantasy artwork. So, Murderer for Hire then. So we got some pictures of Cities of Sigmar and some little quotes here of notes passed to and from different members of the Cities of Sigmar. See a giant, big Stormcast army there. More Cities of Sigmar stuff. Some really awesome models, I must admit. I do miss the old fantasy stuff. These guys are a little sort of high gothic fantasy. They are slowly growing on me looking at these guys. They look quite nice. They're at least more uniformed now. They have proper decent armor and stuff, as opposed to what used to be sort of ragtag sort of stuff. Loads of random dudes bare feet as well, which was kind of weird. That's interesting. You got the banner and the musician as one there. That's a very odd configuration. I guess that's how the Cities of Sigmar operate, I suppose. So you're having two models as different things. And yeah, for a article mentioning about murder, all it is literally a few quotes here about different people and events throughout the Cities of Sigmar. And yeah, we even have a witch hunter here, Haxel Hexbane. So he's requesting the need of an assassin to deal with a squig problem. So yeah, not a lot of information about the assassin. No pictures actually of the assassin in these larger artworks. I think they're just trying to push the awesome new range of stuff. So yeah, moving on then, we have our assassin's datasheet, war scroll entry. So yeah, assassins are masterful dealers of death who use their superior skill to support armies of the City of Sigmar, using guile, infiltration, and prowess. They can kill even the mightiest of warriors with brutal efficiency, settling scores and ending wars, or starting them. So Shadowblades. Shadowblades are members of the mysterious elven cult that stretches back into the mists of time. So yeah, they use blades that can fade in and out of reality, coated in poisons as well. So yeah, we roll on our tables here. We get an assassin trait and assassin origin, and we also get some names for him as well. So we also have a little bit on Misthaven, which is one of the cities where the Dark Elves are prolific, really. It's piratey sort of city, so there's a lot of elven pirates and stuff, corsairs and such. Then once we've rolled on all the tables, we will get, of course, 2 names, which we can write down here. So our example here is Maldrus Darkheart. Then we've got some great deeds he can take off as well. Moving on to our instructions, it is a very simple instruction. It's literally glue leg on, glue arm on, glue chest piece on, cut tab off, glue cape on, glue head on, you're done, and glue to base. So yeah, there we have our assassin. Like I said, it's not going to be the easiest of models to reach all the detail, though it is nicely posed. The hardest part will be to reach the head. The only thing you could do is leave the head off, put a blue tack on top there to cover over the contact points. But yeah, moving on to our paint guide. So we're going to start with Abaddon Black all over, Wraithbone for the flesh and the little skull clasp on his cape. So what I was expecting to be Baraknar Burgundy for the underside of the cape is actually going to be Corn Red. So we paint that for the inside of his cloak, Lead Belcher on the blades, Retributor armor on the hilts of the blades, as well as all the trim on the armor. Personally, I'd probably have painted the armor first and then gone in with Abaddon Black and painted the plates afterwards. So paint the trim and then paint all the plate detail afterwards. I find that easier, especially when I did my Gilliman back in Imperium magazine. After that, we want to shade all the details, so the blades and the cloak with Nuln Oil, Lycan Flesh Shade on the flesh and the gold details, and Skeleton Horde on our skull. Moving on to our highlights, I want to relayer Corn Red on the larger, flatter folds of the cape, Squig Orange for the sharper highlights, White Scar to dot the flesh and the skull, Dawnstone to highlight the cloak, Slanesh Grey to highlight the armor, which is a quite nice way to differentiate the armor to the cloak, which is really nice. Stormhost Silver to highlight all our metallic colours. And then we're on to our base. So we want to base the stone with Dawnstone, shade it with Agrax Earthshade and Dry Brush with Corax White. Then do our usual basing. So Catachan Flesh, couple of layers just to get a solid coat on the base. Grelin Earth all over. Once that's dried and cracked, add Agrax Earthshade and a Dry Brush of Dawnstone before you Catachan Flesh around the base rim. And there we have our finished assassin. And yeah, a really nice looking model, I must admit. So he's pretty cool, as I said. Nice pose. And yeah, some very interesting colour choices as well. I'm kind of looking forward to actually painting him and seeing if I can improve any certain areas. So we have his actual war scroll now. So his rules, so you can fill them in your games. So you can join the Stormcast or the Side of Order. So he has a move of 6, save of 5, bravery of 7 and 5 wounds. He has poison coated blades, so range 1, attack 6, 3+ to hit, 3+ to wound, rend and 1 damage. -1 rend, sorry. So Death's Head poison. If the unmodified wound roll for an attack is a 6, the unit suffers deafening mortal wounds and you stop that attack. Hidden Murder. So while this unit is within 3 inches of a friendly Cities of Sigmar elf unit, that has 3 or more models, this unit is not visible to enemy models. Add Infinite Kill. The strike first effect applies to the unit that is charged if it made a charge move in the same turn. So yeah, we're not going to get much use out of the Hidden Murderer ability unless we're going to be getting the 10 extra issues like we did with Imperium magazine, and we get some sort of elf unit for him to hide in. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe some Corsairs and a Fleet Master. That'd be nice. But yeah, there we have our assassin. Something I just thought about you could do for the blades, heavily thin down some Auric Flesh and then use that as a wash/glaze on the blades to show a nice green venom sort of effect on them. That'd be pretty cool. And then we got our usual tutorial on how to photograph, and we have a beautiful shot of the harbour of Misthaven there. So we can fold that and have him, I'm guessing, leaping across the waters somehow. But yeah, really nice. So yeah, I'll bring everything back in, give you my final thoughts on this pack, and my hopes, I think, for the future. So that was our 4th Encounters pack for Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer. And yeah, it's definitely a bit of a letdown. A model I've never had, even from my days of collecting Dark Elves, because this guy came out after I stopped playing Dark Elves. I just never got on well with the Dark Elves. I could hit no end, but I just couldn't get around to wounding much with them, and it really hindered my playing. Which I moved over to Skaven, and while I had much more the same problem, I had a lot better things to actually make battles easier with. I had loads of weapon teams, cannons, etc., and really cool units. I do kind of miss the Dark Elves. I really wish I'd collected some of the newer release stuff that came out towards the end of Fantasy and got repackaged into Cities of Sigmar boxes. I wanted to get the Misthaven box, which had the Fleet Master, a Chariot, a Hydra, and I think it was 10 Corsairs. I used to love the Corsair kit. So many fun little option bits you can have in there. Plus those scale cloaks were pretty fun to use in various conversions. But yeah, definitely the weaker of the character packs. Still good for $9.99, whereas this guy goes, I think it's for £15 to £20, like most individual characters now. So definitely a saving. But yeah, it's not a model you really need. I don't think it's even that usable in like tournament settings and stuff. Unless you're doing a pure elven sort of force, yeah, it's not going to see much use to much play, really. But yeah, it is like I said, it's a really lovely little kit. And if anything, the artwork in here is quite nice, and it does really try to sell you on the Cities of Sigmar. But yeah, a bit of a letdown towards the end of our collection. Yeah, it's going to be a fun model to paint. That's about it. Other than that, it's going to sit on my shelf and look kind of deadly and pretty. So other than that, my top tip, as I said, would be to leave the head off, perhaps, so you can paint that detail separately and reach all the underside. I believe the tutorial for the paint guide does mention about trying to paint eyes and stuff, and it's not going to be the easiest. Yeah, I mean, painting the eyes of Abaddon, that's not even on camera. So painting the eyes of Abaddon black, if you need an extra support, you can brace your hands against the desk. So yeah, that's not going to be the easiest with that arm in the way. But there we have it. I think I've rambled on long enough. So thank you all very much for watching. And until next time, stay safe, happy hobbying, and goodbye.